Good morning, good afternoon to another video. We have the freaking Batmobile here in Perth. It is the 1966 version, which some of you will know from the first ever Batman comics. This one was built right here in Perth. It's taken about 2 years to build. It's based on an original Lincoln Continental. Obviously the original in the 1966 was based on the Futura, one of the concept cars from Lincoln. The detail on this car is absolutely incredible. So go take a look around, chat to the builder and owner, and enjoy this Batmobile.
Baby, you're the one for me. Baby, you were meant for me. I'm madly in love with you. Baby, you're the one for me. Baby, you were.
So, introducing Andrew from Argyll Restorations, the man behind this absolute beauty in front of us. He knows more about this car than anyone on this planet. It is a 1966 replica, built to absolute perfection, so we're going to Andrew chat about it and see what it's all about. Tell us about this car.
Right, so what you're looking at is a replica of the original 1966 Batmobile as featured on the original series and in the first episode. Because the car changed a lot during each episode.
Yep.
George Barris, the producers of Batman, they put a lot of different labels and changed a few things on the car. So what we've tried to do, my father David and I, we've tried to recreate as close as possible how the car looked in that original episode.
Right.
After the car was originally painted,
Yep.
some original rushes were made and filmed with Adam West and Burt Ward outside the Batcave.
Yeah.
But when they got back to the studios, they realised that the car looked really dull because it had a black finish, but it was a matte finish, and it didn't have the red stripes on the car that we know and love.
Okay.
So George Barris took the car back and thought, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to paint it shiny black.
Yep.
And they wanted a nice red stripe on the car, but in order to get that red stripe, they actually painted orange stripes on the car, or red stripes that turned orange, and in the studio they looked really dull. So what they then did is took some pink tape, stuck pink tape all down the lines of the car, so that way it looked red on camera. So when you're actually making your own Batmobile, if any of you choose to do so, or insane enough to do so,
Yeah, I can't imagine.
the big dilemma, one of the big dilemmas that you'll face is whether or not to paint the stripes correctly orange, screen red, or pink. So yeah, it's the one of the decisions that you've got to
Perfect.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's talk about the car. So what is underneath this?
So we're using a 400 Cleveland M engine, which came out the original 1979 Lincoln Continental. We continue to use that engine, mostly because it fitted underneath the bonnet. So the main...
Yeah, because it's got quite a sloping bonnet at the front.
Yeah, there was many hours of lost sleep trying to fit the air filter on top of the carburetor. So there are some modifications on the air filter.
Yeah.
And it's really tight underneath. But because it's a big V8 engine, it doesn't rock and roll too much. And we didn't have to modify the bump on the bonnet, which was very important to me.
Perfect. Okay, alright, so we're going to take a walk around and let's check this out in more detail. Let's go. So we're at the business end. I say business end because igniter. So I see 2 parachutes and a nozzle which makes fire. Tell us about this end.
Well, this is the business end of the Batmobile. Probably one of the most famous things about the Batmobile is the flame that comes out the back of the Batmobile, which back in the 1960s it was actually just a 5-gallon drum cut in half with a flame that was recorded once only for film. They had a little fan behind the flame which gave you that circular movement.
Okay, right, yeah.
But we wanted to replicate that. That was really important to us because everybody asks, does it fire a flame out the back of the car?
Of course.
And of course it does. You know, so we what we did is we used a gas cylinder inside the car and just basic barbecue equipment. So it's pretty safe. We contacted Energy Safety, explained what we were doing, and talked to them about it.
Wow, okay.
And they gave us some direction as to what they would like us to do and how we would like us to contain the gas cylinder, and we followed those steps. We're in the process of submitting an application so we can actually get it licensed, but it's not licensed at present, so I can't really fire it up just yet. So
no, that's fair enough, and we are in a very public space, as one can see, with people everywhere, so let's not set people on fire today. Parachutes.
Parachutes, yep, indeed. So when Batman's going down the freeway very quickly, he's chasing the Joker. and that girl rings up and she says dinner's on the table, pulls the emergency turn lever, the parachutes are deployed, the car does a 180-degree turn, it races back to Wayne Manor. 9 times out of 10 the dinner's probably still sitting in the oven and not on the plate. but we thought it was important to have the parachutes in there, so just for that.
Perfect. Perfect.
We've got the same license plate as what featured on the television show. There was actually 3 different license plates that we used. There was that one, there was this one, and another as well. We went for this one, it was the first. So,
perfect. Well, it matches the car, so.
Yeah, of course, Gotham City. And then of course we got the strobe lights on the back there just to give it a little bit more of an angry feeling.
Yeah, oh, it looks good. Especially with the sun setting and getting a bit dark, it looks good.
The nose is slightly different as well from the original. We've actually extended the bodywork a little bit around here, so it just tucks in.
Yep.
We thought it looked a little bit more elegant than the original George Barris version. We've also buried the hinges onto the side, so the original has like a piano hinge that goes across here.
Right, okay.
It doesn't really look that elegant when you open the bonnet, but we thought the way that we've done it is quite good. One of the big challenges of making the front end of the car was actually getting this diamond nice and symmetrical.
Yep.
Very, very fragile. If you misalign the bonnet a little bit, you flick the fiberglass off and you start again. So trying to build that up and sanding it down just with some sandpaper inside there, we must have spent days on that in total. But we're happy with the result. Obviously, you know, as car enthusiasts, we all want a car immediately, and so we worked on the Batmobile on weekends only. So my father and I would basically just come in on a Saturday morning, and we just worked till about 5 o'clock, and then we come in again on Sunday and work till probably 4 or 6 o'clock as well. Some nights, come home, and you know, our wives would complain to us, but it all kind of. I think it was all worth it in the end after 4 years of.
So, how many hours do you reckon the race is?
Well, 4 years, 2 days a week. It's about 100 days each. 400 days times 7 maybe. I mean, like we stopped for Christmas.
Yep.
We did have a couple of weekends off where we go to a car show. We did get interrupted by a lot of customers on Saturdays, and my dad's a really good talker. So sometimes
Dad's always are.
Nothing done for 4 hours on a Saturday morning. But yeah, so do the maths. It's horrendous.
Absolute chaos. Oh, they're singing the Batman theme tune. This is great. The boot. Tell us what's in this boot.
Well, it's the mobile crime computer sitting in the boot. So Batman needs a connection to the Batcave. And in the first episode or 2 of Batman, he has cause to reach in and connect to the Bat computer in the Batcave. And obviously in the 1960s, internet wasn't available even for superheroes, so this is how he did it. We've also got these, so I can show you some of these really important anti-lethal sprays. That's featured in an episode in the 3rd series, I think.
Shark repellent.
You need the dynamite.
Shark repellent's good for Australia.
I can show you the shark repellent if you like.
Perfect.
Magnesium gas. All the good stuff. We've actually got a fuel tank underneath here, so when we fill up the car, it's underneath there.
Right, okay.
I think the real Batmobile had a fuel cap over there.
Right.
And we didn't really want to be with it.
No, everyone's alive.
That's what
baby, you're the one for me. Baby, you are meant for me. I'm in love with you. Baby, one for me.
So we've replicated the original, same, what do you call it, trim. So we've used.
So is this all custom? Like you've custom made all this?
We made everything. So we made all this out of just some angle iron. My father did really. So that was made out of angle iron. The ashtrays from a Jaguar XJ6. The door handles are from a Corvette, but otherwise everything else has been customized. So we made all that, and then we had the chrome plate, all go by custom chrome. Emergency turn lever that we discussed earlier. So this is where we pulled the parachutes from, and here we've got a gearbox. This is the original gearbox at Lincoln, but the handle's actually from an XJ6 Jaguar. It matched the emergency turn lever and looked very similar to as it does on the show. Here we've replicated the same fire extinguisher from the show as well. We've actually managed to get a copy of the original stickers or labels that actually came with the fire extinguisher back in the 1960s. The homing receiver beacon here, which we've got a replica of the original increased power output knob, and then when we turn that, you'll see that the aerial will pop up in the front. So this is what Robin uses to this is what Batman's doing in the night plane. Of course, he watches it on his Batscope. So here we've got a speedometer, which it's a working speedometer. It comes from an old Ford Detzel. We've copied the start button. If you watch the first episode of Batman, the Riddler tries to steal the Batmobile, and he thinks this is the start button, and he presses it, and of course it actually starts off an alarm inside the Batmobile. So it's actually the anti-theft activator. So the lights on the dash, of course, will work. Tells us what gear we're sitting in. Otherwise, we'd have absolutely no idea. And that's about it. Then, of course, we've got the roll-top dash. You know, which is seen in the original TV show. So another dilemma really for us was how to make the roll-top dash. You know, because it's obviously got a lot of wires and things underneath the car, and we've got to try and get all these slats to go back without them all jiggling around and making a lot of racket when we're driving down the freeway at 100 kilometers an hour. But yeah, so we managed to get that all happening as well. So. Pretty much it on the inside, I suppose. Of course, the half-shaped steering wheel, how can I forget? So in the original show, there was a half-shaped steering wheel, and Adam West was constantly trying to grab the steering wheel when they were going around corners, and he complained and said, "Look, guys, I can't drive the Batmobile with a half-shaped steering wheel." So after a few episodes of Batman, you'll actually notice there's a full steering wheel in the TV show. But we've got the trouble getting half-shaped, and the operator indicator lights here on these little buttons on the side there, so we're somewhat compliant with the law. So
tell me about the glass on the back here. It's not glass, it's acrylic or perspex, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So when we bought the body, the body actually came with some canopies, which weren't really cutting it, to be honest with you. The front glass was cut in two, and you know, we'd end up with this huge split down between the passenger and the driver. Right. The original Batmobile, it did break at some point, and you'll notice in the later episodes of Batman there's a big cushion, a big leather cushion that sits between the two over the roll bar. Right. So a few of the builders were saying to me, "Hey, it's okay, Andrew. You know, like it's, you know, you can put a cushion there. It looks perfectly good." A lot of the, you know, and I said, "Well, no, it doesn't look right to me." And I thought it was very important to have that lovely line going across the top. So the challenge was,
they look perfect. So they've done a good job.
Thank you. Yeah.
And you.
Well, we had to make the molds. So we
oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So what we did is we said, okay, we obviously had the contour of the car all figured out. What we then needed to do was actually make a plaster Paris mold, which we then covered in fiberglass and then reinforced the rig in the back. Yeah. And then we had to make it super smooth. So and then we covered in primer. We had a lovely finish on it, almost as good as it is on the car. And then we took it to the plastics company. I think they had 7 guys basically holding down this perspex or acrylic or whatever it's called. Yeah. And then we got the front canopies, and we said, okay, well, you've made the front, we can then make the back. And they're a bit nervous about making the back. It's
that's
bigger,
pretty pointy as well. That would be hard on acrylic.
Yeah, it was a lot harder. They were really worried about sort of crumpling in the edges. But it was just a leap of faith, you know. Just I paid them to make one, and if it didn't work out, then I'd have to pay them to make another one. And I think it's about $2,500 each. But we got what we wanted. It looked really good. And I'm glad we spent the money, because the one.
Oh, gotcha! They look incredible.
The rear glass that we got was all ripply, and there was the reason behind that, it was explained to me, is because of variance in temperature in the kiln when it was made in North America somewhere. So I think it was called Tinker-like material. So instead what we've done is a lot more consistent, and I'm really happy with how it looks, because it's such an important part of the car. It's such an important part of the car. So, perfect.
Alright, so we've chatted about the car quite enough. I think there is so much, we could still chat for hours as well. Andrew has spent so many years building this, and it's absolutely perfect. So, inside the Batmobile, emergency bat turn lever. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you hit that subscribe button, plenty more videos to come, and I'll see you in future videos. Peace.